The message came at 2:14 a.m. Not a phone call, not a text. A motion alert from their security system. I shouldn't have been awake, but I was. Sleep and I had stopped being on speaking terms months ago. The house was silent, my wife breathing steady beside me, her warmth pressed into my back like nothing was wrong. I reached for my phone, thumbed the notification. The footage showed the driveway, her parents' home, floodlight catching pale concrete, the edge of a wheelchair I'd bought only weeks earlier. The box I'd brought in myself, unwrapped with hands that had been shaking, because I wanted to do something good, something useful. The chair wasn't in the living room anymore. It wasn't anywhere inside. I knew because I watched her, my wife. On the grainy black and white feed, she rolled it to the curb with her brother. The two of them laughing quietly, careless. Then they walked back in without it. And the chair, my $2,500 offering of help, of loyalty, was just left there, abandoned. I sat in the dark, the glow of the phone washing my face cold, and realized this wasn't about a chair at all. It was about me. At dinner that night, her mother's words had cut deeper than I'd let them see. "Return it," she'd said, staring right at me, lips curled sharp. "I'd rather crawl than owe a poor, useless man." Silence. Then laughter. All of them, her parents, her brother, even my wife. The sound still rings inside my skull like metal dragged against stone. I'd cleared my plate quietly, took the chair back out to the car, drove home alone. I told myself it was pride, that they didn't know what they were saying, that my wife would call later, apologize, smooth it over. She never did. Instead, she came home late, smelling faintly of wine, tossing her shoes off like she belonged to another life entirely. She didn't mention the chair, didn't mention the laughter. That was when suspicion took root. Not of her cruelty, I already knew she was capable of that, but of the way she avoided my eyes, like she was hiding something far bigger than mockery. I started with her phone, not by touching it, I didn't need to. Patterns reveal themselves if you're patient enough. She guarded it differently, set it face down, smiled at messages she never mentioned. I waited, observed. The way she suddenly preferred showers late at night. The way she texted in the bathroom, screen glow leaking under the door. I pulled the threads quietly. Checked the family cameras she thought I never had access to. Nights she said she was at her mother's bedside, I saw her car parked elsewhere. Different streets, different houses. My stomach never dropped. My heart never raced. Instead, a steady coldness spread through me, a kind of focus that only betrayal can carve into bone. The final step was proof. Not suspicion, proof. A discreet DNA test kit ordered online. Harmless curiosity, I told myself. Our daughter's hair, my own. Samples sealed, shipped, forgotten, for 2 weeks at least, until the envelope arrived. I opened it at the kitchen table, afternoon light bleeding across the wood grain. The words were clinical, cold, a percentage where a bond should have been. 0. Not mine. My daughter, her daughter, was not mine. I sat still for a long time. No yelling, no breaking, just silence filling every corner of the room until it became unbearable. When she came home that night, dropping her bag, humming to herself, I slid the envelope across the counter. She froze, eyes scanning, then widening. Her lips parted, trembling excuses forming. I didn't say a word, only watched her unravel. She begged at first, whispered apologies, reached for me like touch could erase numbers on a page. Then she broke, voice rising, anger twisting her face. She called me pathetic, obsessed, cruel for digging where I shouldn't. I let her. Every word, every spit of venom. When she finished, chest heaving, I finally spoke. I knew the night your mother laughed. You all showed me exactly what I was to you. Nothing. That's when I started looking. Her face collapsed. She realized too late that she hadn't destroyed me at that dinner table, she'd only made me dangerous. I stood, took my jacket, and left her in the kitchen with the truth she couldn't spin away. But I wasn't finished. That abandoned wheelchair, still sitting on the curb days later, rust beginning to touch its frame, was the final piece. I rolled it back up their driveway at dawn, right beneath the camera they'd installed, set it upright, and strapped the open DNA results to the seat. By morning, they would all see it. My wife, her family, the proof no denial could erase. I didn't wait for the fallout. Didn't need to. I drove until the city disappeared behind me, phone buzzing with calls I would never answer. For years, I'd carried the weight of trying to prove myself to people who had already decided I was worthless. A poor man, a useless man. They were wrong. I was the only one strong enough to face the truth, and I left them to choke on it. The last thing I saw in the rear view was the house shrinking in the distance. And the wheelchair, still standing, still waiting, empty.